Greetings, peace to all. Uh, I am Brother Tinka, and we are set for another 30 minutes, 45 minutes of uh, talk with the contractor or ask the contractor. All right. Want to welcome y'all to this session. And let's see, we're going to talk about the importance or the great benefit of purchasing a home, a house in a blighted area. And so we kind of want to set the stage for, why it would be a great idea in order, to purchase a house in a blighted area, especially if you uh, live there in and around the area. So I want to come from the perspective of social and economic benefit of home ownership. Okay. I want to share with you all why home ownership makes the difference. And so what I did, Krisha, my daughter, who is a real estate agent with the agency, she has a PowerPoint, and it talks about the social and economic benefit of home ownership. Okay, so this is her presentation, and so Peace Queen Rochelle, thank you, love, for viewing us live. I really appreciate it. All right. So the only thing that I've done, she has some figures, and I just did up the updated figures, right? And so we want to talk about the household income by ethnicity. Okay, we have, and I normally don't do the white, the black, and whatnot. We're going to say Caucasian, New Africans, and Hispanics. Okay. All right. The for 2021, okay, the average household income for Caucasians here in America is $250,400 in $400,000. That's $250,400,000. No, $250,400. Okay, that's the medium income, household income for Caucasian. For New Africans, that amount is 27,000, or was $27,100, and that's for 2021. Okay, the medium income for Hispanics in 2021 was $48,700. Okay, you can see what's going on there, and that is a great, huge disparity between uh, Caucasians and New Africans and Hispanics. Okay, now for 2022, and I'm gonna start with the Hispanics. Well, that household income for Hispanics in 2022 was $61,600. So the household income for 2022 for Hispanics is $61,600. For New Africans, that amount is $44,900. Okay, and then for Caucasians, that amount is $285,000. So you can see there is a huge disparity between household income. Now, let's just be clear. uh, catching up, we can basically forget about that unless we're going to do the same thing that was done to us, that allowed other people to get so far ahead. Now, so it's not about catching up with them, but it's more or less what can we do to increase our household income? Okay. Now, and by the way, this information was taken from the Federal Reserve Survey of Consumer Finance. All right. So you all can look it up. And so we see here that there is a huge disparity. And so if we see the percentage wise and how that relates, 285,000. So, wow, we make no more than 16% of what Caucasian Americans' household income is. Okay, so if you take $285,000, take 16% of that, that is what our annual household income is for New Africans. And that's not at all good. Okay, let me do this. Divided by 28,500. Yeah, it's a little bit less than 16%. So we make 16% less for household income than American Caucasians. Okay. All right. Now, now, just want to talk about real briefly here the benefit of social income, social and economic benefit of home ownership. And again, this is complement of Lucretia with the agency and whatnot. All right, so we saw that wealth gap. All right, so wealth gap explanation. All right, it's about asset, education, home ownership, and employment. Those two things kind of explain why there is such a large wealth gap. Okay, all right. So the benefit of home ownership. All right. People with that own their own homes tend to have a higher high academic achievements. All right, they are more cohesive communities. All right, better connected to family. So when you are a homeowner, chances are you're going to be better connected to families. Okay, home ownership also promotes improved health and safety. Okay, and it creates a stronger economy. All right, so those are the benefits of home ownership. There's also a social benefit with home ownership, and that is stable. It creates a stable housing. All right, educational achievement. All right. Civic participation, health benefit, it decreases crime. So when you talk about the social benefit of home ownership, those are the things that you can see an improvement in. Okay, stable housing, economic achievement, civil participation, health benefit, and then it also decreases the crime rate. All right, stable housing. So homeowners move less than renters. Okay, hence they are embedded in the same neighborhood or community for a long period of time. Okay, another thing about stable housing, 4.7% of owner occupied residents move from let me go back to there. As in this 2010 and 2011, there was 4.7% owner-occupied residents that moved. Okay, that is a very low percentage. In that same period, you had about 20%, 26% of renters, right, that moved. Okay, It says census report when age, income, and material status, marital status, was considered a person for significantly more likely to change residence in a given year if he or she was a renter or versus a homeowner. Okay. All right. That's what the Census Bureau reported. Okay. All right. Stability. All right. Residential stability strengthens social ties with the neighbors. So if you are a homeowner and you are stable, you're going to have a better tie with your neighbor. All right. Educational achievement, green and white. Let's see. A study found that the decision to stay in school is higher. So if you are a homeowner, more than likely, this study, this green and white study, found that the decision to stay in school was higher. Also, lower home ownership, also lower teenage pregnancy rate by 20%. Okay? And this is talking about the educational perspective about home ownership. All right? Certain behavioral characteristic required of home owners gets passed to the children. All right? So more than likely, basically, there's certain type of characteristics that comes when a child knows that their parents own their home, right? And more than likely, they will become homeowners themselves. All right, let's see, have here, New York Federal Reserve Bank found that home ownership raises educational outcome for children. Okay. Neighborhood stability further enhance positive outcome. All right. This is talking more about educational achievement. There was a HKR. Can't even pronounce it. Hansek, Kane, and Rivkan study found that changing schools negatively impact educational outcome. So if you are in you have a child that's in school and you are a household that moves periodically or frequent, right, that interrupts the child's education in a negative way. Okay, researchers found that access to economic and educational opportunities are more prevalent in neighborhoods with high rates of home ownership and community involvement. Okay, so there was a research that was done that confirmed access to economic and educational opportunities are more prevalent to homeowners. It increases it. Okay, civil participation. Homeowners have a great financial stake in their neighborhoods than renters. People that just simply rent, they don't give a jibbity. Some, not all. They are less likely to care. Renters are less likely to care, and that's fair to say. All right. Home owners spend more time and money maintaining their residence than renters, which contributes to the overall quality of the surrounding community. Okay. Homeowners are more politically active than renters, right? So these are the facts. These people have done research. Okay. So we're talking more, we're still on civic participation. Glazer and Pasquale, this study found that 77% of homeowners at some point in their time voted, while 52 of renters votes. Okay, that's 77% of homeowners, they vote, and renters are at 52%. Okay, 32% of homeowners knew their local school representative, and only 20% of the renters did. Okay. All right. Attachment to the neighborhood is stronger for homeowners and long-term renters than frequent transit residents. So if you are a long-time renter, you kind of in the same place with homeowners. All right. But keep in mind, you're building someone else's wealth. All right. You're sending someone else's child to school, or buying someone else another car, or vehicle, or sending them on vacations. Okay. Just know that as renters. All right. Um, Now the health benefit, homeowners are happier and healthier than non-owners. Okay. There was a study found that low-income people who recently became homeowners reported higher life satisfaction. It increases their self-esteem. This technology is something else. All right. So back to what I was saying, studies found that low-income people who recently became homeowners reported a higher life satisfaction. It increased their self-esteem and higher perceived control of their lives. All right. There was another study done that concluded that homeowners reported higher self-esteem and happiness than renters, even if they now owned a home that they used to rent. So even if you are in a home that you've been renting for so long, and then you bought it, your self-esteem and life satisfaction had more than likely will increase. That's interesting. All right, crime. We're going to talk about crime as it relates to home ownership. All right. So home ownership is going to lower the crime rate. All right. Homeowners have more to lose financially than a renter. All right. Home ownership shows homeowners are less likely to become crime victims. All right. All right. There's another study done by Miles and Don. Studies showed that resident mobility as a contributing factor for the higher violence rate by spouse and inmates. Let me read that again. Studies showed resident mobility as a contributing factor for a higher violence rate by spouses and inmates. Okay, so I guess what they're saying here is, if you are moving from place to place, chances are that you're according to the factor for a higher violence rate. They have a higher violence rate. That's interesting. All right, the recent study by Keeban showed residential mobility is significantly and positively related to homicide. Okay, they're saying that if you are renters, then you're going to have a higher rate of homicide than if you were a homeowner. Okay, so it looks like people's perspective changes a great deal when they become homeowners. Okay, the economic benefit, home ownership builds equity and it helps create wealth. Okay, tax benefit, well, that tax benefit is no more because, unless you do an itemized deduction. But there are tax benefit if you're doing an itemized deduction. But now you can buy the blighted house next door to your blighted house that you bought for renting. And that gives you a tax benefit because you can write off your expenses, and then you also get depreciation value. You get depreciation, with that saves you on taxes as well. So home ownership helps with the economy because now you're going to be more inclined to fix your property when something is wrong, as opposed to the landlord who's already having issues or whatever the case is. He or she is going to be less likely to fix this problem with the house, right? They're going to be less reluctant. All right. Building wealth through home equity. All right. Paying off your home loan and making payments on time. You are building wealth. All right. Now, let's see. So highly likely the value of your home will go up. All right. It's likely that, you bought a house 5 years ago. Everybody's maintaining their property. Your property value will go up in value. Okay. That's why it's important that, you see, you have people that, you move into a particular neighborhood, and the houses, and then you have people that come over to see you, bringing you cakes. They want to know who's staying next to them. Really, that's nothing wrong with that. People might get upset with that, but they are trying to protect their their property value. That's an asset to them. Okay. So again, highly likely that the value of your home will go up. All right. Take care of your home in yard, or it can go down. So yeah. So if you're not taking care of your property, the property value will go down. Okay. Nationally, several decades, housing prices have increased on the average of 4% annually. So they're saying that on a normal basis nationally, that your property value, the value of your home, if kept up, will increase by 4% annually. Okay. All right. Got two more slides here. Equity. All right. A recent study by researchers of the Joint Center of Housing Studies at Harvard University analyzed reasons for difference in wealth between renters and homeowners. They concluded the most important thing they found among them is that homeownership requires potential buyers to save a down payment and continuing saving by paying down a portion of the mortgage principal each month. Okay, this is how you can build equity. All right. The tax benefits, so interest paid on your home is deductible. That's not so now unless you're going to do the itemized deduction. Your property taxes, that's no longer that's no longer a tax deduction unless you're going to do itemized. And always check with your CPA, your accounting on that. Homeowners may exclude up to a limit the capital gain that realizes from the sale of the home. So that's what I talked about the last time. And so let's say that you go out and you purchase a home and you live in that home, that house for 2 years, and then you sell it. If you're single, if that property goes up $250,000 and you are single, and you sell it, you don't have to pay any capital gain on $250,000 or less if you're single. If you are married, that amount is $500,000. So you can see the great, huge benefit of equity when you purchasing a home and whatnot. Okay. Rental income is not taxed. Other expenses from the federal income tax, so you go and you're paying someone's rent, or you're paying someone rent, right? There's no, well, the only benefit you get in that is staying in the property, and you don't have to worry about fixing the property up. But I oftentimes say that to purchase a home, yeah, there's some interest that you got to pay, but if you move, or whichever the case is, and that home is yours, and we're going to make this applicable. We want to discuss it from the perspective of a blighted property, right? That you done put that sweat equity in, and you went out there and you fixed it up, and you and your family lived in it. We're going to tell you Uh, you can pretty much pay it off, provided that you pick the right house and you got a plan to, um, you know, of how much it's going to cost, and you stay within your budget. All right. Helping the economy, existing home purchase, according to as the NAR, one job is generated for every two homes sold. Okay. One job is generated for every two homes that are sold. All right. Each one home sold contributes about $60,000 to the economy, or the gross GDP, which is the gross domestic product. All right. Real estate industry, $15,570 plus related industries. So you're going to spend about five. Okay, you're going to spend about five for furniture and gardening. You're going to spend about $5,000. Local economic multiplier, $9,987. New home construction inducement, 27,000. So this is what they're saying here, how it contributes to the gross domestic product, right? So it strengthens the country, the nation, and it puts people to work. All right. So that what I gave you is the economic benefit of home ownership. All right. And so I want to thank Lucretia Pryor with the agency. And Creed, if you put your phone number in the chat, if you want the people to have your phone number, a phone number, or your email address, let me know and I'll share it with them, and whatnot. So thank you for that presentation. Now, I want to talk about 20. I'm going to give you 20 reasons for as to the benefit of purchasing a house. Okay, so those of you that are looking for an agent, you want to know more about purchasing a home, you can call up Lucretia at 904-463 904-635-5496. 904-635-5496. Call Lucretia Pryor at the agency, and she'll share more information with you about home ownership, the benefit of it, and how she can get you in a home. All right. Well, she'll get you in a house. You got to make it a home. All right. So let's. All right. So now you say, well, I ain't got no money to go out and buy $150,000, $200,000, $300,000 home, right? And so that leaves me out. That is not so. If we are honest and we're being frank, a lot of us are trying to keep up with the Joneses. We're trying to pay $1,000 or $1,500 rent, right? And we can take that same $1,000, $1,500 a month that we're paying toward the rent, and we can use that, and we could be purchasing a home, right? So let's say if you spending about $1,000 a month in rent, right? And that's on the average in Jackson. The rent's going to be anywhere between $800 and $1,100. If you're going to stay in the city of Jackson, that's on the average. Some is much higher. Okay. Okay. So Creek said there's a $30,000 grant available right now. So if you wanted to purchase a home, there is a $30,000 grant that you can get to purchase a home. That's fabulous. Okay. All right. So y'all call up Creek at let me see, can I roll it back at 904-635-5496 if you want to know more about that grant. Okay, call Lucretia Pryor at the agency. Okay. All right. And as a grant is something that you don't have to pay back. Y'all do know that. All right. All right. So now, for those of you who say, well, I ain't got much money. I ain't got no money at all. I bet you we can find that money. You know, you got to be committed to, if you want to purchase a home, you got to be committed to the process, right? But I want to talk about 20 strong reasons why it's a benefit to purchase a house in a blighted area. And if you're talking about you ain't got money, and especially if you got 4 or 5 other friends that you know they are also renting, you know, you all can go into on a street or block and purchase, each of you can purchase a blighted property, right? Now, you know, be careful because, you know, it costs to fix them up, but there are a lot of properties out of 4,200 vacant properties in the city of Jackson. You know, not all of them need to be pushed down. So you just have to do your due diligence and start hanging out with people that want the same thing that you want, you know. And so you say, I got 4 or 5 friends that are renters. We want to become homeowners. Well, y'all need to hit the pavement and then go find 4 or 5 houses or whatnot in an area that, you know, y'all can acquire, purchase, and fix them up. Now, here's the benefit of it. Okay, so proximity and accountability, right? All right, because you live next door, you may be renting a house and you living next door. You have a personal stake in ensuring that that property is well maintained, right? So if someone is living next to you and you are renting, or you may be a homeowner and you see a blighted property next to you, it's in your interest to purchase that property. Don't let it just sit there, because it is decreasing your property value. And the moment that you take that property under your wing and you fix that property up, it's going to increase your property value. Okay. And remember all of the benefit that one gets becoming a homeowner. When you find someone that wants to buy that house, you know, you fix that house up and then you make them homeowners, because, you know, it just really depends on how you want to look at it. Right. But yeah, so you have a personal stake in in ensuring the property is well maintained. Okay. There's a direct impact on purchasing a property in a blighted area, right? Especially if you live there, right? You experience the negative effect of a blighted property daily. So your motivation to restore it is genuine and lasting. So what am I saying here? You know, there was a property that was not being kept. It was being rented out. And the people that, and I'm giving you an example now, right? There was a property that, and we're not going to rush through this thing, right? Because I want y'all to really understand the benefit of purchasing property in your immediate area. There was a piece of a property that was near to my current resident, and there were people living there. They weren't keeping the property up, and it was horrible, right? And I said to myself that as soon as if there was ever an opportunity that I can own that property, I'm going to take advantage of it. right? So the people moved out. And one day on my way back to the house, I came home early and there was a for sale sign matted on the door. So I called the person and then I called the number that was on there, and I am just, okay, we're back. All right. And I called the person to negotiate a price for that property. We negotiated a price for that property. I immediately called the bank. So the guy said, well, yeah, I'll send you it was Friday. He said, I'll send you a contract first thing Monday. So what I did, I immediately called the bank before close of business, and I had having a relationship with my banker, and I told him, well, I want uh, told him what the property was selling for, and I told him I wanted $20,000 more to fix it up. I think I said like 25 more thousand to fix it up, right? And he said, okay, we can make that happen. About a week later, I signed off. That Monday, I got the contract. We signed off on it to purchase it at X amount of dollars, and then I went to the bank, got the property, got the property, got the capital for the property, and then they gave me $20,000 to fix it up. That wasn't enough. We came out of pocket about another $5,000. So we got the cost of the property plus we put about 25 grand in it, but 5,000 of it of our own money. Okay. Now, guess what? That property is worth twice as much as we put into it. Twice as much as what we put into it. And we put that sweat equity in. But what did I do there? I saved, my neighborhood from having a blighted property in the neighborhood, right? Or somebody could have came by and bought it. It was a real great sale, but because if I hadn't have bought it, my neighbor would have definitely bought it, but I beat him to the punch, right? And so, but right now, that property is bringing in a positive cash flow, and it is worth twice as much what it was worth when I purchased it. Did you hear me what I said? Twice as much. Okay? That is the power of seizing the moment, keeping cash on hand, and building a great relationship with your banker. Okay? That's what I would like to get our people to doing, is being able to be in that position where you can seize the moment. All right. So here again, a direct impact. You experience the negative effect of blight daily. Well, in that case, I didn't, but you understand my point. All right. Community pride. As a resident, you are investing in uplifting the neighborhood, not just making a quick profit. So if there was a blighted property next to me, right, just for the simple fact that I wouldn't want my property to go down in value, I would purchase that property even if I didn't make a dime in profit. Understand me. I would purchase it even if it meant that I didn't make a dime in profit. I would purchase that property because I don't want to see that blight next to me. Okay? So it's not always about making a quick dollar, but what it is about is maintaining, your environment. All right, long-term presence. So if you're living next door to a blighted property, I encourage you to go and purchase that property. It may not be next door to you. It may be on the same street from you, or around the next street, or on your block, or in the next neighborhood over. Okay. You are not an outsider or an absentee owner. You already live here in that area, and you are committed to staying. Okay. Now I'm looking at this from the perspective is that you are a a renter, a homeowner that's living in the area, and why it would benefit you to purchase that property. All right. Uh, if you're living in an area, okay, um, where there is a blighted property, it behooves you, okay, to look at the long time benefit of that blighted property. So, so you're not an outsider. Or you're not an absentee owner, right? You live in that area, and you're committed to staying there. So your concern need to be the the house, the property next door, or on the next street, or around the block. Okay, local knowledge. Okay, the benefit. And so what I'm saying that if the citizens of Jackson have 4,200 blighted properties, there are enough citizens in Jackson, the capital city, that either you can buy one on your own or get a collection of your brothers and sisters and you buy one together. And blight will be no more. Okay? And then you can legislate. If you got someone that's not keeping up with their property, you can legislate the local government, to actually, you can do a forced sale, force them to sell their property because they're not keeping up with it. And so that's what group power would do for you. Okay. All right. So, the local knowledge, you understand the culture, the needs, and the history of the neighborhood better than an outside investor. Okay. So we're talking about the benefit of Jacksonians buying up all, if not as many, blighted properties as possible. You can do it from an individual level, or you can do it from a group level. Okay. Shared visions. Your goals align with the neighborhood desire for safe, clean, and thriving streets. Okay. So that's a shared vision. Preventing gentrification. I told y'all last week, Jackson, 20 years from now, you ain't gonna be able to recognize it. And so what you can get for $2, $3, $4, $5, $10,000, $14,000 now, that same property, that same lot is going to be worth 60, 70,000, 10, 15, 20 years from now. And what happens is that because we can't see past tomorrow or next week or next month, we don't see the vision, the good or the benefit in having long-term goals. Okay, that's where we need to improve at. That's where we're going to improve at. All right. So it prevents gentrification, and that's because you are part of the community. You will improve the property without displacing neighbors or raising rents unfairly. You are going to be more inclined to charge a reasonable fee for a property that you just rehab than would an outside investor. Because what you want to do is prevent gentrification. All right. Also, the benefit of purchasing a blighted property, you're going a faster response. What does I mean by that? All right. Living nearby means you can quickly respond to maintenance, safety, or community concerns. Right? You are a part of the neighborhood. You're a part of that community. And so because you have an invested interest in the community, you're going to be able to respond faster than any investor would. And I'm talking about how we can increase our household income. That house right next door to you, can make all the difference. And you just will have to make sacrifice. The children may have to go without Christmas. Give them another Christmas gift, a house, and y'all fix it up. And in a year's time, you got positive equity. You got positive income. Okay. You're having residual income. You may have to forego going to the liquor store and getting you a bottle every week. Okay. Going on vacation. There's going to have to be some sacrifices if you all want to see a positive change in the capital city as it relates to the blighted property. Had a friend of mine share so quite a few development projects that's going on in the city of Jackson, the capital city. And guess what? They don't include us. They don't include people, Now we're going to go and give them our money because we're going to want to be in these areas, but you're not in the plan as far as ownership. We have to now own where we live, or you're going to be chased out. You ain't going to be able to afford to stay there. All right, trust factor. Neighbors and local officials are more likely to trust someone who already lives among them, who already lives in the area, in the neighborhood, in the community, right? People are going to trust you more. You have more to lose than an investor. So the trust factor is a plus, right? That can increase the property value. It can help you to maneuver, here and there in order to get things done. All right, safety and stability. We talked about that. Revitalizing blighted property increases security for you and your neighbors, reducing crime and hazards. We just talked about that. That was in Lucretia's presentation. Okay, it creates it is a benefit to you and your neighbors that you eliminate, exterminate that blight. Okay, so we're talking safety and stability. Also, okay, economic development. You can hire local contractors, tradespeople, and youth. You can circulate that money back into the neighborhood. That is a benefit. Okay? I would rather pay Joe Mo somebody, who's looking for work and then to pay someone that I don't even know. Because if Joe Mo goes without, there you go again, they're going to be more inclined, to take. So we got to get people to work, those that want to work and those that don't want to work. We have to figure out what we want to do with them collectively. All right. So that's that economic development part. Stewardship. Instead of treating the property as a transaction, you treat it as a part of the community's future. That's self-explanatory. Treat it as a part of the community's future. We're talking about long-term vision, long-term obligation, commitment, and whatnot. Okay? Cost savings, and this is number 13. Cost savings, right? You save on management, commuting costs, since you are already located nearby. That is the benefit of purchasing a blighted property that is near you. That's an incentive. It's a cost savings. All right. Personal oversight. You don't need you don't need a property manager. You can directly ensure quality and upkeep. You know, there's no need for you to, to hire someone to keep up the property, because you can do that yourself. That's a dollar saved is a dollar earned, right? All right, personal oversight. No property manager needed. You can directly ensure quality and upkeep. So you got the personal oversight. That's what you get when you have when you purchase a property that is next door to you. Okay. Um, Model of empowerment. What is that? Say your action inspires others on the block to invest, to clean up, to take pride in their property. Okay? You become the model. All right? And other people see the work that you're doing. And 9 times out of 10, you're going to inspire them to do the same. What are we doing here? We are eradicating, exterminating blight. Sustainability. So you will care for the property in a way that supports the environment, the aesthetics, and the culture of the neighborhood. See, don't expect others to do for us what we should be doing for ourselves. If there is a blighted property next to you, I strongly encourage you to purchase that property. If you're renting and you see a blighted property in an area that you can deal with, tell that person that you're renting from to pay their own rent, and you go and do what you can to purchase that property and fix it up and live in it. Now, it may not be all that you want it to be, when you start off, because now you're becoming a real estate developer. Little do you know, okay? And it wasn't built in a day. It wasn't built in a day. And so therefore you have to take baby steps. Okay. All right. So again, sustainability. You will care for the property in a way that supports the environment, the aesthetics and culture of the neighborhood. Family and generational wealth. Keeping ownership local helps build family and community wealth, not funneling profit to outsiders. Just think if you and your household can make it your business that over a certain period of time, you all going to go out and you're going to acquire in the closest proximity of your home or where you live, 2, 3, 4, 5 properties that you can basically get for pennies on a dollar. You can get it on a tax sale, or you can just outright buy it and keep it up and fix it up for the low. All right. The opportunity is there. We just got to seize it. Okay. All right. Let's see. Moving, trying to get out that. All right. Accessibility to community members. All right. Because you're local, neighborhoods can approach you with ideas, concerns, and collaboration. Right. We're talking about accessibility. You living in the same area, it behooves you to go out and purchase a blighted property. Okay. You are accessible. And then with your great attitude, people are going to, want to deal with you, There has not been one property that my wife and I have acquired that we had to run ads or put it in the paper, right? By the time when we finished fixing it up, we already had a lease agreement. Okay. I don't recall not one time that we had to, I think probably when we were fixing up one of the properties, we put a sign in it. If you want to rent this property, here's my number. But by the time we finished rehabbing the house, it was already rented out. We never had a problem with renting out property. Okay. All right. So, because again, accessibility to the community members, because your local neighborhoods can approach you with your ideas, concerns, and collaboration. All right. Alignment with city goals. Cities often prefer local residents to own and redevelop properties because it strengthens community stability. We already told you that. Creasha already told you. Creasha with the agency. You can reach her at 904-635-5496. In her presentation, she already said that home ownership strengthens the community stability. It strengthens the community. Okay. All right. We are at 20. Emotional investment. Okay. Understand that you're not just buying property. You are protecting your home, your block, and your future. Okay. That's what it's about. When you go out and you purchase a blighted property next to you, you are doing those things. You are protecting your home, your street, your block, and your future. All right. So those are 20 benefits of homeowners or people that's living in an area that is blighted. You go out and you purchase those properties and you control who lives there and whatnot. Okay. You're adding value to your resident, to your street, to your block, to your town, country, or municipality, or whichever the case is. All right. Well, that's it for now. If you all want to connect with us, please go to www.ansoth. That's www.ansoot.com. Fill out the information form. Takes you about 5-10 seconds. And submit, get involved, and get on our contact list. And we'll be reaching out to you. You can reach out to us if you want to report blight. Okay. If you want to become a real estate enthusiast, or if you are a contractor and you want to get on our list,